Morning, guys. I'm Larry the Butcher with a Tuesday morning live stream, drive stream, whatever you want to call it. So I read an article saying that the biggest of the biggest gained $422 billion in wealth in the, 12 weeks that the pandemic has been going on, that the lockdown orders have been going on. So if you guys were interested in wealth redistribution, here it is. Small to mid-sized companies, even some fairly large companies are starting to recoil, and that's not a good thing. In Canada, there was a women's clothing company called Reitmans. I don't know if they're in the U.S. or elsewhere in the world, possibly the U.K. So they had two sub-brands, Pennington's and Time Maternity. Well, they're closing all those stores down. So there's, I believe the claim is 1,500 people will now be out of work. They've been on lockdown orders since the middle of March, and now they are out of a job thanks to this pandemic. I would suspect that within a couple weeks, companies like Amazon and Walmart and Target and credit card companies are going to have gained trillions of dollars in wealth since this pandemic has started. So it really does make you wonder, what are we doing? I had coffee with some friends yesterday. We were socially distant. We are not as concerned as some other people, but we are not in the demographic that is high risk. The three of us were under the age of 70. We're healthy. We don't have autoimmune issues. So, we were all good. And that comes to a question. The COVID-2 is real. There is no doubt about that. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I am just asking questions. COVID-2 is real. There are people who are at serious risk of dying from COVID-19, the disease that comes from the COVID-2 virus. And that's where we're seeing the most fatalities are the elderly, people over the age of 70, and those people who are already sick with nuts. I forgot about this. I got a detour. Oh, well. Good morning. My normal route to work is closed for like 6 weeks. I forgot. So, piece of cake. I'll just be a couple minutes late, which isn't unusual. You guys get a tour of Hamilton. So, in Ontario, they revealed that things are pretty bad in long-term care centers for the aged. And it's not that it's a secret. And I don't think, everybody's blaming the company and the companies in deregulation, and maybe that's a problem. I'm not saying it isn't. But a company's long-term viability is predicated on the success it has with its current clients. So its clients are its residents who will, unfortunately, that's the last place they're going to live. So what company in their right mind would create such horrible conditions that their customers are dying all the time and intentionally destroying their reputation? So that's a question. I'm Larry the Butcher. I want to be a better butcher. I want to be a better purveyor of meals than the guy next to me. So creating a long-term care facility where your parents or grandparents or whoever else is treated like crap is not a viable business proposition. Is it a lack of regulators? I don't know. Is it that the regulators that are on the clock aren't doing their jobs? Again, I don't know. I'm just asking questions. And by all means, if you have an answer, comment down below. And people are blaming Mike Harris. Might be right. I don't know. I am conservative leaning, but it could be right. It could be Mike Harris's fault. That being said, the Liberals were critical of everything the Conservatives did while the Conservatives were in power in the late 90s and early 90s. And they had control of the government of Ontario for like 12 years. They didn't do nothing about it. So, they're just as complicit in the issue as anyone else is. And now Doug Ford is holding the bag, so he has to fix it. Now, Doug has gone a little too far left for my liking. I think the province should be further along in opening things back up. That's my opinion. I think that we should return to normalcy, like the normal back in January and previous. Not to a new normal, because I believe it should only be a temporary normal. We are social beings, and you're forcing us to be antisocial. As antisocial as I normally am. Like that's a different beast altogether. How are you handling everything? Are you working? Are you out of work? Are you working from home? Has your employer told you that they're closing the office and you have no choice but to work from home? If you're allowed to work from home, are you allowed to expense your home, your residence? Because if you have to build an office in your house, that's workspace. That's costing you money. And there should be some level of expensing to the company. And maybe the company will try to argue that, because you're living at home, you don't have as many expenses. So we'll pay you less. I don't think that's fair. I think you should earn as much as you possibly can. I had a big week. I don't know if you guys heard, but I have kid number 4. Veronica is going to be her name, but I'm going to call her Johnny Rutherford. Johnny Rutherford has won the Indy 500 3 times. No, I'm not going to call her Johnny Rutherford, but Veronica is a lot of letters. I'm probably due for a haircut. That's a different story. And the commute has returned to normal. When I left work on Tuesday last week, it took me over an hour to get home. Closed, follow detour. I wonder what they're doing. It's a long time for just a repave. But at the same time, there's no businesses or homes or residences on that road. It's just a thoroughfare. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the big companies are definitely taking advantage of the situation, that they're only going to get bigger, and that small businesses, the mom and pops of the world, are going to be completely eliminated by the end of this, especially if it lasts 8 or 10 more weeks? How are restaurants going to function in the temporary normal? That's one of my big questions. Like, I love to cook, and, a restaurant isn't out of the scope of possibilities in my future. So, I guess that's it for today. Comment down below. Like this episode if you liked it. Dislike it if you think I'm ugly or you hate my driving, or you think I'm stupid for forgetting that road was closed. Track me down on social media. Share this video on all your favorite social media. What other good things can I tell you? I wish I had an Amazon. I keep putting up the Amazon links, and I don't do anything with it, so the account gets suspended. So I'll try again. There's going to be an Amazon link somewhere that if you click on it, I'll get a little kickback from Amazon. It doesn't cost you a cent. It'll help the channel a lot. You guys be safe. Be safe for your friends. give those nearest and dearest to you a call, a hug, or whatever. Yes, I know. Pandemic. I will carry on driving. I love you all. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.